Okay, there are all the right answers to the first side of the page from yesterday. I don't have the answers to the riddle, obviously, because I haven't transcribed them. But Omar says he has them. Each has a point. The Nobel Prize. His boss chewed him out. Because he fell in the bubblegum mixing machine. So they got in trouble. That's getting chewed out. But since it was a gum machine, they had to get him out. So he chewed him out. 32. 14. 36. 4. 8. 50. 40. 21. Positive 6. What?
What's the one for B,
B, -8. Yes, -8. 44. 28. -5. And the last three, or the last row, is -180, -45, 19, 18, -40, and -63. Everybody good? And the definitions are... What? One sec, Karina, which one?
The one with N, top of the second row. Isn't that this might be a miscalculation on my part, but I thought it was -72.
It is -72. Excellent. Omar. Now, once again, perfect example of what happens when you try to work in your head and don't do your work. Right? I got 2 wrong on that page. Should I have gotten any wrong on that page? Would I have gotten any wrong on that page had I written them all down? No. Would I have gotten any wrong on that page if I wasn't rushing? No. Do you guys ever have to rush? No. You have to rush because you spend all your time talking and then you run out of time. If you don't spend all your time talking and use your work time, do you ever have to rush in my class? No. Do you ever have to not show work? No. So you guys should be getting this perfect, shouldn't you? What is the... Dumb criminal, because he's a con, but he's dense.
I even finished the other one.
Omar screwed us over on the second one.
Yeah.
Way to go, Omar. What is it, Karina?
In favor of the metric system.
Yes, in favor of the metric system, because pro means you're in favor of it, like pro uniforms in high school, and gram is a metric measurement. All right. So you should all be looking at this page now. Now, all of you are smart enough to know that it can't possibly be as easy as it was yesterday and with today's warm-ups. Because, of course, you know, math sometimes has more than two things on one side of the equal sign. Right? Okay. But what you also know is you know how to make things a long polynomial simpler because of last unit, yes? We collect our like terms. What are you doing? How did you not get one of those?
I don't know.
Alright. So, this first one here is yesterday's work, yes? And I have it nicely explained to you here in case you weren't here yesterday. Okay? Please pay special attention to this that I have highlighted, because this is algebra in words, which is another thing you need to be able to do before you finish grade 9. You have to be able to explain in words what is happening on the page. Do you understand? So when we read that, a number. So what that tells us, a number, do you know what number it is? That is unknown. So in algebra, it's a variable. And what's the variable we always use?
Numbers and letters.
We always use x, but it can be any symbol that isn't what? That's not a number. So that number gets multiplied by 3, 3x, and then subtract 14, minus 14. Cool? I'm going to give you guys a sheet on that today, turning words to math and math back to words. Alright? Okay. Actually, I'm going to send those sheets to the computer right now, to the printer, so I remember that it gets done. Tweet! Something's going on out there. Oh, not 251 copies.
Oh, he's on the other side, right?
Alright, so this is the key thing. This is what you guys screw up, because you forget to do everything to both sides of the equation. Any step you take, you must take to the other side if it changes the value. Do you understand? So right now, okay, right now, there's one super good looking dude over here, okay? And there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. And there's 18 passably good-looking people over there. So if the quotient, if the value of good-lookingness is a variable, there's 18x equals 1. Understand? Now, if some of you leave does that change your value?
Yes.
Yes. So I would have to subtract from my side. Understand? But what if I told you you were being split into boys and girls? And there's girl X, boy X equals 1. Okay? You with me? So if you're both X's, but I collect your like terms, did that change your value? No. So is there anything to do to my side if all I do is collect? No, because I didn't change value. Does everyone understand that? Okay. I'm just kidding. You're all gorgeous. Don't be that way. Huh? Okay. So, we look at example 2, and again, this is yesterday's work, isn't it? It just looks a tiny bit different because you've got a divided by and a negative sign. But you guys know how to handle it. What are you going to do with example 2? Omar, hit me.
You're gonna put bar of the 3 negative 3.
You're going to do minus 3. Where else?
The other side, maybe.
To the 8. Now, do I need to actually write this step down? I would really recommend it. Do you need to write it down this way? Not necessarily, because if you're smart, you'll notice this. There's a plus 3 there, which we know is going to do what? Disappear. Where does it reappear? Right here, yeah? So would I be okay to do this? Am I subtracting 3 from the 8 still?
Yeah.
Am I moving it away from the m?
Yeah.
So am I still okay?
Yeah.
All right. Please, 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 please do not start doing this until you can do this every single time correctly. Do you understand what I'm saying? I just gave you guys like 42 of this type of equation, right? If you did it all this way and you got them all perfect, then you can start thinking about this little shortcut. Okay? But otherwise, I really recommend continuing to write it out. So now I have negative m over 4 equals 5. Yes? Now, I'm going to give you another shortcut. Yesterday, what would we do to get rid of that divided by 4?
You multiply.
I'd multiply both sides by 4, yeah? And then I would be left with a negative m, wouldn't I? And that m wouldn't be by itself, would it? Because I don't need a negative m. I need just an m. And if it's just an m, then it's positive m, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I need to get rid of a negative and a 4 here. Can I get rid of them both at one go? I can, because can that negative live on the top?
No.
With the numerator. Is that a fraction you have seen? Negative 1/2, is that okay? Sure it is. Is this the exact same fraction? It is, isn't it? So can I rewrite this as m over negative 4 equals 5? And now, can I get rid of the negative and the 4 in one shot? Because what would I do? What's the number I need to get rid of? So if I multiply both sides by negative 4, am I in business? Yeah. So what's the answer? M equals what? Negative 20. Right? Do I check? Sure I do. What's negative 20? What's negative 20? Positive 20. What's positive 20 divided by 4? Say 5. 5. What's 5 plus 3? 8. Does 8 equal 8?
No.
8 doesn't equal 8.
Yeah.
It does. So is this the right answer? Yes. Okay? Now, we are going to add a step or two to every single example today. But they're all steps you already know. There's nothing new. So let's look at this and see what's ugly about it. Because Tasha, what's your final job? Get the variable by itself. So you need one variable, right? What's the problem there and there? There's 2 letter P's. But because we just finished last unit, we know what to do when we have 2 P's on the same side, don't we? We peel them and eat them. 2 P's in a pod, 2 P's.
We ask collect like terms.
So right there, I tell you what to do. You collect like terms every chance you get. So I got 8 P's, but I'm taking away 5 P's. So what have I got?
3P
3P plus 9 equals, now on this side, what have I got?
negative 4 plus 5.
Negative 4 plus 5, which is?
Negative 9.
1. Cool? Now, are we to where we were yesterday? And now everybody knows what to do. But one of you just said you were confused. Liam, where?
I realized it now. I'm good.
Okay. So what do I do with this plus 9?
Oh, that's an argument.
What do I do with plus 9? Minus 9. Now, did I change the value in the first step?
Yes.
No. But I changed in the second step, so I better make sure I do this. Right? And what's my answer? What's 1 minus 9?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it is negative 8. You're right. 1 minus 9. So 3P equals negative 8. And what's the last step?
Divided by 3.
P equals negative 8 over 3. Would we leave it as a fraction?
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody good? Where?
On the dividing part, on like the last part, like I get the first step, like
Okay.
the 3p equals negative 8.
Okay, well, Tasha, if this was a 9, we just divide by 3, wouldn't we? And we'd have negative 3, right?
Yeah.
Well, so all we're doing is the same division, but because it doesn't work out perfectly, we leave it as a fraction. That's it. That's negative 8 divided by 3. And then we're done. Everybody good? All right. Now look at 4. Obviously, I've given you a hint over here, but that doesn't mean anything to you guys, does it? Move the terms on, so the variable is on one side of the equal sign and a constant on the other. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because our final goal is to get the variable completely by itself, right? So a variable, at the end, it's going to look like this. X equals a number, isn't it? So at some point, I'm going to get all my letters away from all my numbers, right? Does it matter which order we put those in? Can I have number equals X? Is that okay? Yeah. So as long as I move my X's in one direction and my numbers in the other direction, am I always going to be able to do algebra? Yeah. Now the only problem with this is you got to remember what move means. What is the only way in algebra to move something? How did you move me to the chair? When we did it right, how did we move me to the chair? You used very specific instructions. How did you get me back from the chair? You reversed those instructions, yes? So in algebra, the instructions are all one of 4 things. What are they? Every instruction in algebra is one of 4 things. What? Add, multiply,
Divided by.
divide, and subtract. So if I'm going to move something, what do I have to do to adding?
Multiply. Wait, it's divided.
Subtracting. If I'm going to move a division, what do I got to do? Multiply. Right? Because remember, to move stuff, we got to do the opposite what? Operation. Not the opposite what? Number. It's the opposite operation. So let's look at this. What don't you like about that?
Too many.
There's a variable on each side, there's a number on each side. I'm going to give you guys a big old hint right here. Always move the least valuable, the least value variable. So, what's worth less? 2 or 5? 2. So that's the one we're going to move. This is adding 2m to the left side of the equation, isn't it? So how do I get rid of adding 2m? I subtract 2m. Now, have I changed the value? I've removed 2 m's from this side. So what must I do to the other side?
The same.
The same thing. Now, can I take 2m away from 4? No, because we just did a whole unit on that. Which of these is the only one I can take 2 m's away from? The 5 minus 2m. Right?
Yeah.
So now, I've got negative 5 equals 3m plus 4, yes? And now all of a sudden I'm back at yesterday, aren't I? And now we know what to do. What do I do with plus 4?
Negative 4.
Negative 4, negative 4. And now what do I have? We move by opposite operation. I forgot to finish that note. So now I have 3m equals negative 9. And what's the last step? What does m equal? I divide by what? I divide by what? No, the negative 9 is by itself. I want the letter by itself. So what do I divide by?
By 3.
By 3. What's negative 9 divided by 3? Negative 3. And there's my final answer. Is everybody good? All right. Now have a look at example 5 and tell me what's different. There's one difference between 4 and 5. One of the variables is negative. It looks different. Do we change our order? No. I just told you to always move the least value variable. What is worth less? Negative 5 or positive 2?
Negative 5. Wait, what was it?
What's worth less? Would you rather have $2 or negative $5?
Negative 5.
Omar, if you go to 7-Eleven and you say, I have negative $5 in my pocket, and I go to 7-Eleven and I say, I have $2 in my pocket, who's leaving 7-Eleven with a big gulp? Why? Because 2 is worth something. Negatives are not. So I'll ask again. What is worth less? Negatives or positives? Negatives. Would you rather have negative $1 billion or positive 1 penny? Of course you would. Because negative $1 billion would mean you owe me $1 billion.
So then could you be
Oh, yeah.
more than just that big gulp because Omar will owe you $5.
Yeah. All right. So, since the negative is smaller, we're going to move it. What operation is this? Subtract 5h. So what operation do I need to do to move it? Add 5h. Where else?
2H.
To the H. Because I can't do it to the 7 because I don't know how big H is. So now I have 3 equals 7H plus 7. And now that looks just like yesterday, doesn't it? So finish it. Go. And then somebody can tell me what H equals. What's H? Okay. No rush. I'm just dancing. Minding my business. Just chilling, minding my business. You know, you guys all know that song, right?
What?
Shoop, Salt and Pepper. Shoop. You don't know the song Shoop? Can I get the fries with the shake booty? If looks could kill you, would be an Uzi or a shotgun. Bang! What's up with that? Bang!
Oh my god.
I want to know, how does it hang? Straight up, laid up, hold up, Mr. Lover. Like Prince said, you're a sexy mother. You don't know that song? Salt and Pepper? Nothing? Salt and Pepper. Talk to your folks. They all know the Salt and Pepper song Shoop. What is it?
I/4/7.
No. It's -4/7.
Oh!
Because you did -7, got -4 equals 7H, and then divided.
I give the right numbers, but I forgot the...
Yes, that's like saying, I needed to give you a green card to get through this door, but I gave you a red card.
Yeah.
Oh my good gravy, example number 6. It is a bit of a toughie, but only because there's 2 ways to do it. I want you to look at number 6 for a minute and see if you can figure it out. Either way.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Because you all know what to do when you're faced with a coefficient and then brackets. Because that's how we ended last unit. I'm going to split the paper in half and show you both ways. When it's time. Who would like to go first in describing their strategy?
I don't know.
Karina, what would you do? You would start with the brackets. Okay? What would you do?
If it's, I'm thinking guessing, if it's kind of like last unit, then it would be like 2.
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Oh, I know this.
Okay, so we'll write that.
Yeah, I know this. You multiply.
You distribute the coefficient.
Yeah.
To get what?
To get 3x by 3 times -4 equals -12. And equals 15.
And now can you solve that?
Yeah.
Because that's just like yesterday, yeah? Everybody cool?
You have to describe.
So you would, of course, add 12, 3x equaled -3, divide both sides by 3, and x would equal -1. Right?
Yeah.
That's last unit, yeah? Now, watch. I'm going to show you a sometimes shortcut. Why is it only sometimes? Because it doesn't always work. Well, it does always work, but it doesn't work pretty. And we like things pretty in math class, don't we? 3x minus 4 equals -15. Now, don't write down what I'm about to write. Just look at it for a second. If I gave you this, 3x equaled -15, what would you do there?
We describe the...
You would divide by 3, wouldn't you? Everybody agree? Okay. Well, now look at the question we actually have. Isn't that 3 times one thing equals That? Isn't it? So if I divide this side by 3, will that 3 go away?
Yes.
And what will that leave me with on this side?
X.
X minus 4. Now why is it only a sometimes shortcut? Because that division has to work on both sides. Does 15 divide by 3? What's the answer? -5, yeah? And now, can we solve this?
Yes.
Plus 4 plus 4, x equals -1. Does everybody see your two options?
That'd be 2 ways we can do it, right?
Remember that if this division is not perfect, then use method 1. Why? Because it always works. Everybody good?
I prefer the first one.
Everybody good? Okay. The only problem with method 1 is you gotta remember how to distribute from last unit. Right?
If you don't.
If you don't, you're gonna screw it up.
Okay.
Then you're gonna say, Mr. Myers, did I do this right? And I'm gonna say, is there a big red X by it? And you're gonna say, yeah. And I'm gonna say, then you didn't do it right. Hogarth! Example number 7.
Can you do the same thing we did in
Can you do the second shortcut method?
I don't want to try this.
No, why, Karina? Because it's got brackets on both sides, so we're screwed. Fortunately, Mr. Myers has reminded me of how to solve these. I got to do the distributive property. How many times? Twice. Why twice? Because there's 2 sets of brackets. What if there was 8 sets of brackets? How many times? 8 times. You get rid of every set of brackets.
Then I did this.
What is that? 4m.
2 times negative
Then what is that?
negative 10.
Equals
Negative 3 times.
negative 3m,
And negative 3 times 2 is
-6. Now this looks like example 5, doesn't it? And example 5, we did one thing to it, and then it looked like yesterday. So we know how to do this, don't we? What's yucky about it? Too many numbers, too many letters. So what do? Get rid of them by gathering them up. Which is bigger, 4 or -3?
4.
Good. So which one do we move?
Negative 3.
Yeah! How do you move? Subtraction of 3.
Positive 3.
By adding 3. Where else?
4.
Now, since I have moved my letters and that's gone, and I can see I only have letters over here, is this number allowed to stay here? No. So what do I do? Where else? And now I can do it all in one step, can't I? What's 4 plus 3? 7m. What's -6 plus 4? Or plus 10, I just gave it away. 4. And what's my final answer? 4/7, exactly right, Liam.
7/4.
Oh,
I have backwards.
cool? Okay. Oh, good gravy. Look at number 8. It has everything in it that we have had to do.
Alright. Well,
It's yucky and ugly, yes?
yeah.
So we apply every simplifying thing we know how to do until it looks like this. That's all we do. We keep doing the stuff we know how to do until it looks pretty. So what's the first ugly thing you see about that?
Too many numbers, too many letters, too many brackets.
Brackets. Because where would we start?
Hour.
Bedmass, brackets, right? So let's get rid of them. Are we doing anything to 5 yet? No. But here we're doing something. What's minus 4 times 2? Negative 8y. And what's minus 4 times 1? Negative 4. Equals. What's 5 times y? 5y. And what's 5 times positive 3? 15. And then minus 8. Step 1 out of the way. Step 2. Gather like terms. Do you see some?
Yes.
I see this guy and this guy. And I see this guy and this guy. So let's put them together. What's 5 minus 4? 1. So this side is negative 8y, and positive 5 minus 4 is positive 1, yes? Everyone happy with that? Now that's looking like the algebra we're happy with, yeah? And what on this side? 5y, what's 15 minus 8? You all done?
I did. You can cut.
You rock. You want to see how you did?
Sure.
Then you'll know if you're going anywhere.
Oh, I feel like when I was a little trick question at the end.
What? Right? 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 You are on a roll, sister. 5 points so far. 6 points. Right? Right?
Is it 0%?
No, of course it's not 0%. It's 84.
I don't know.
And, oh God, I can't remember. I don't remember the answer to that one.
I feel like that was a trick question.
I want to say it's D. I better check. What do you guys think? Have a look at Rez. Do you think she got the hardest question on the math contest right or wrong?
No.
This is a psychology experiment. Look at this girl and think, is she intelligent?
Well, she got almost all the other questions pretty much right. Yeah, I think she knows what's going on.
That's a very fun thing. If you take psychology at university, they do an experiment on you where they show you pictures of people and they say, do you think they're smart or not? Just on a picture. 12 was... 12 was C, and it was wrong. It's okay.
What did I get?
Got 9 out of 12 with no blanks. That's like the second best score.
Second best? Really?
It's tied with the second best.
What was the highest?
10 correct with no blanks.
Can I still go to the thing? The competition?
I'll have to ask DeVries.
You beg, because I really want to go.
I don't see why not. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, back to business. Business time. It's business time. Who stole the plug for my computer? Which one of you deadbeats took my stuff? None of you, because it's in my bag. I'm gonna plug it in. And then I'm always in a good mood. My birthday is coming up.
37.
Mr. Grell.
There you go, sir.
Tremblay to you.
Now your list is special
Of course it is.
you have all the cups, but they are only, I believe they're only coming with you upon return, and our chef, Casper, is going to take care of her cook, so don't even, I just put them there to fill
To what cooks am I taking?
like the professional cooks down in the program.
Yeah.
So they're taking an earlier bus,
Oh, okay.
and then they're coming.
But I gotta bring them home.
Right.
Lucky me.
But you just worry about Tremblay de Joux.
That's all I'm going to do.
There you go.
All right.
You might even find Mr. Kleisinger on your bus.
That would be nice.
He said he wanted to spend extra time with you.
Yeah. So what was 15 minus 8?
15 minus 8 is equals
7. And now we're looking real close, aren't we? What's smaller, -8 or +5? -8. So right away, that guy's moving. So I do +8y. Where else? +8y. Now, which is disappearing, the 8 or the 5? The 8, which means there's no letters over here, yeah? So that means all the numbers need to get over here. So, even though 7 is bigger than 1, that rule only applies to variables. So we gotta move 7, and we gotta move 7. One step. What's negative or 1 minus 7? -6 equals 5 plus 8?
13y.
13y. And what's our last step always in algebra?
Divided by -6.
Divide by
-6. 13, sorry.
y equals -6/13.
I always do it.
Now, you guys get to do number 9 while I go and get your work that is due tomorrow. Now, while I leave, we'll begin the exodus to the bathroom. I'm well aware. None of you need to go. You need to get up and leave. There's a difference. No. Oh, yeah, I can recycle that. I'm going right by it. Yep. And then I will do mine. Might as well.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I was just looking up there, right? For all we know, we have like a ladder in this room.
That I'd be a little weird. You know, it'd be so funny if you were up there, and then you had like a minute.
Oh my god, April Fool's put James up there, he drops on his shoulders.
That's what I was just thinking. Oh god, did you like doing that?
He's small like that.
Oh, that's fun. Sure, do that. I'm not gonna
James?
Here's a shirt against, you know, what you think to get barbecue sauce.
What taco?
Over, exactly.
I know.
He was the most trustworthy guy I've ever met. I think talk more about because this is very wonderful.
I didn't even tell this secret.
Wait, Omar, see, Omar wouldn't tell
I
me.
feel like they
No, that's oh my god, that's so sad. Okay, fine, guys.
He said it's fine, so I'm pretty sure we're going to.
No. All they're asking for is that stage.
I've never got
I don't want to spend all that.
It's different.
Here's today's work. Make sure you get it.
Omar, grab one, please.
And I'm going to bring you your last test and quiz.
What that we did?
Yeah, you did them already. They're marked.
Oh, yeah.
Says he was reading it.
Quizzes are first.
Well, then. I don't even know.
Of course.
She's way over there. Liam's right here. Huh? Liam, you're driving me crazy, man. Yeah. How come you sometimes know how to do stuff and then sometimes not? It's math. It's all the same. How do you? I don't get how you sometimes know it.
Okay, no, I
sometimes I
Myers, I did good.
Both sides of the quiz? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Omar, you did.
go back to, oh, where's my science point? So, I got 2.5. 14.
Tasha, are you ready?
I don't know if I'm failing. It's not my chocolate.
Somebody stay mom.
You might want to look at all the people around you, Tasha, and compare that score to theirs.
What'd you get? You did good compared to me.
You might want to look at everybody in the class, Tasha, and compare that score to them.
What'd you say?
You might even want to compare that score to the kids in the class that are getting A's and see how you did.
Mr. Myers, can I go?
I thought I did really bad with the other one.
Remember, test do not leave the room. Look it over.
Omar, one day you'll be me. One day, this student will be done.
You keep the quiz.
I don't
Don't
really
keep the
understand. I
test.
don't really understand.
I'll go over it.
I passed.
By not that, I mean really good.
That's only
Remember, tests do not leave the room. I hope I was going to go over a few questions. All right.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell me what is the, I get confused in the test. What is coefficient? This coefficient.
It's the number.
The number?
The number with a letter.